Welcome back to another one of our Clouse's summer vacation videos. You will notice that we are still at the Grunt house, and I know what you're thinking. There are no more teenagers at the Grunt house. We have done Rip's room, we have done Tank's room. What are we still doing here? Well, if you haven't guessed the theme by now of my summer vacation, it's doing all of the teenagers from the original 3 neighborhoods, their bedrooms, essentially. I don't even know if I've said that or not. That's how good I am at this. Yes, I was checking his shirt to make sure it matched his pillow. Don't judge me. Now, I was looking at my recording schedule, and there was something off about it, and I couldn't quite pick it out, and then I realized I'd gotten one of the days wrong, and so I had to, basically I wrote it all out again, and I realized I was missing one video. I needed one more video. And I didn't really know what to do, because I could just not do it. No one would really notice. It would be fine. I could have picked a teenager from one of the other neighborhoods, just one though, and that kind of bothered me because I'm a completionist, and then I knew I would be compelled to do the other ones later on, and I'm already so busy, I just couldn't. So what I decided to do was go ahead and do one of the child sims, because there aren't actually a lot of child sims in the 3 base game neighborhoods. And of the child sims, Buck is definitely my favorite because he's the most interesting. He wants to be a pet stylist, and I just think that's so silly and fun that, of course, I had to do it. And yeah, why not? Let's just complete the Grunt Boy set. We've already done the other 2. Let's just go ahead and do it. Also, you can kind of see, I don't remember if in Tank's video I showed you Rip's room. I added some of the CC that I had meant to put in his room that hadn't been showing up. You can kind of see it off to the sides. There's tarot cards on his floor. The Ethical Slut book is on his bed. There are Converse next to his bed as well. But anyways, so I didn't download anything special for Buck's room in particular. I've been in general just downloading a bunch of modern CC, so I was like, let's just see if I can make this room without downloading anything special. Because for all these other rooms, I have sat down, looked at where the room is currently, as it starts out base game. I've read their description, I've kind of looked them over as a character, and I've just kind of taken notes as to how I think of them, how I thought of them originally. I also took notes before I even started of how do I think of this character? Who do I think they are? And some of them changed pretty drastically, other ones didn't. Tank, I would not have really gone with nature with him, but that Daisy picture kind of really steered me in that direction. Buck, we don't really have much to go on. He had nothing in his room except for a wardrobe and a toy box, which is super generalized for a kid, but his description is so fun and kind of clever and creative that it's I had so much fun with him. I definitely wanted to go with bright primary colors for the most part for his room, but also just fun animal themed in general. That was really what I was going with. That frog chair. I ended up getting rid of this desk. I do like it, but he has kind of he's the smallest room, and he's got, all of their rooms are these awkward, long, weird rooms, and it's just, besides Rip's, which is a weird corner room. One thing, because Buck is overweight in the game, I wanted to have a lot of snacks kind of stashed around the room, because Buzz strikes me as the kind of person that probably makes Buck run through the stupid obstacle course a whole bunch because he sees him gaining weight, and Buck strikes me as kind of stubborn child that says, I don't like you, I'm stashing cookies under my bed. And it's just kind of one of those unhealthy situations that just it's not great for anybody, but that's the way that it is. So I wanted to have kind of a lot of snacks to show that. Yeah, I really don't even have notes for Buck. I just went into this with nothing. I was just let's just see. I knew I had some stylist items as well, because just because he wants to be his pet stylist doesn't mean I necessarily have to have pet stylist items. I knew I had I knew there were some vet items, and I didn't know if I downloaded them or not. And I knew there was Barbies and a Barbie styling head, and I was just there's gotta be stuff that I can use to decorate this kid's room that I'm not going to use for any of the teenagers, so it should work out. He actually surprised me by being a very neat sim. At one point, I don't know if I show it, I checked just to see how neat he is, because I was oh, I can put a bunch of clutter, I can have a lot of fun, kind of like what I did with Rip, but next level. oh no, this child is a very neat child. Which kind of leaned into my idea that Buck really ended up taking over for a lot of the things that Lila used to do by virtue of being the baby, but also, you know, Rip checked out, and Tank was so busy being Dad 2.0 that there just wasn't anybody to really do the laundry, to do the cooking, to do the ironing, and, you know, he'd always been home with Mom anyways. Also, I'm very sad that I can't adjust the height of these, because I would have loved to put one of these games on his floor, but I couldn't, and I was sad. But yeah, just because he'd been home with his mom so much, like, he knew how to do all of that because he'd watched her do it. She kind of showed him how to do it because she was lonely. You can't tell me that Lila Grunt was not a very lonely person. And yeah, so I ended up putting, you'll see it kind of later in the video, but like, he has a sewing machine and I think an iron and just things like that. You can see I'm trying to sneak this yellow dresser in. I really want to use it in someone's room and I don't get to, and I'm very upset about it, and someone needs to know about it. But yeah, like, he just kind of ended up taking over the household chores because there was no one else to do it, and he thought it was gross. And, like, he just wasn't going to live like that. So he's like, alright, I guess this is on me. I definitely wanted to give him a lot of stuffed animals because he is kind of soft and sweet, but also, you know, he wants to be an animal stylist, so he has all these stuffed animals that he styles, so to speak. Which I don't know why, in retrospect, I didn't do, like, the vet items. I think that would have been, that's a missed opportunity on my part, but yeah. It was me just kind of going through all of the toys and just being like, alright, what can I put in this kid's room? But the color scheme primarily came from that toy box, so yellow, red, greens, oranges, and blues, and also, like, his outfit is kind of primary as well. I wanted to make sure, too, that, you know, he still had some, like, a mixture of toys as well, like, quote-unquote boy toys and girl toys. I actually don't think Buzz really would care one way or another. Like, he has lots of faults, but I don't think that it bothers him. Like, that if his son played with Barbies, I don't think that he would really care. I don't think he would. Like, it just wouldn't. He has so much other things. Like, if his son was playing with an alien Barbie, he would have a problem. But, like, just a Barbie, I don't think it would bother him. Which just says so much about him that, yeah, I don't think that I need to go into detail on that, but yeah, that's just one of the things that I was thinking about while I was picking out items. You can see I put the clutter down for the mess, like the messy toy box and the messy stuff on the floor. Once I checked his neatness and realized, oh no, this child would not, no, this would not be happening. I also thought about putting that little cooking setup in his room, but it was just too much with all the other stuff that I wanted to do. Like, he doesn't have a lot of space, and I really needed to edit what I wanted to do here, which is a good thing. Like, I had too much to do, which means that I wasn't struggling to put things in his room instead, which I was afraid of. I was like, what if I'm struggling to, like, fill the space in a way that keeps it on a level with the other rooms? Because I didn't want this, since I didn't, like, plan it ahead of time, I didn't want it to, like, fall short in terms of the other rooms with my planning and with characterization, but I don't think it did. Like, I think we see Buck as he is currently. Child Sims, of course, they're still developing, still growing, still becoming people, so it makes sense that maybe he's not always going to be this way. This is just kind of who he is now. You can already see, like, I'm running out of space in his room. His room is just so squeezy. So I got rid of the desk. I'm like, maybe I'll do a smaller desk. I knew I had the tiny living desks. I had these little rolling secretary desks. I'm still not thrilled with the tiny living desk. It's the one I end up using, but it wasn't my first choice. I don't like the shadows on it. But it works. But yeah, I end up taking the cooking thing out. I don't think cooking is necessarily what he likes to do. I think he does end up cooking for the family. Obviously, Child Sims can't cook in the game, but, like, this is not a workable neighborhood. They can do whatever I say. So, like, in my head, he cooks all the meals. They might not be great meals, but he still does cook all the meals. And also, kids can cook. Some kids cook amazingly. I don't know if you've seen the Food Network sometimes, where they have, like, the shows where, like, the kids are the cooks. They do some amazing things. So, like, kids can definitely cook. I did give him the little cars thing just because even if I don't think Buzz cares, I think Buzz's family probably would be a little bit more traditional and would buy him the, toy cars and the superheroes and things. I don't think that Buck cares one way or another. I wanted him to have a plant. That was another thing that I kind of wanted to do, is I wanted to include elements of Tank and Rip, like, in his room. Because I don't think he really has, like, his bio, like, his dad doesn't notice him. He just is kind of invisible. So I feel like his brothers really step up to, like, be there for him. So I wanted elements of Tank and elements of Rip in his room to show, like, they're kind of his parents. Which is sad, but it's kind of true. Like, I wanted to try to fit butterflies into there, and nature, and a little bit of fitness and things like that to show, oh, Tank takes him maybe on less arduous hikes, and maybe some, I don't know, just things that would show that the boys were, like, involved with him. I don't quite know if I got that aspect through or not, just because it was a little bit hard. But it was something that I was trying to keep in mind, like in the back of my mind, of that was something that I wanted, because I do think that they are kind of his parents. Because I don't think that Buzz kind of cares. Or not even that he doesn't care, I think that Buck really looks a lot like Lila, and he just doesn't want to see her. Therefore, doesn't want to see Buck. Yeah, this is me just going, what else are we going to throw in this room? Because I don't know. I have a lot of knitting clutter, too. This is where I started getting the idea of putting a lot of makeup, like, clutter and things in his room, and maybe having, like, a little vanity set up. Because, yeah, he likes animals, but, like, stylist, what does that mean? Like, is he styling? What is he styling? Is he styling their hair? Like, how is he styling them? So maybe he had play makeup, but also maybe he just had a lot of, like, Lila's old makeup. I've always had canon that Lila was, like, a beauty queen kind of thing. Definitely was always very well made up, so she probably had a lot of makeup that just sat there, and he probably just, instead of letting it get thrown away, just kind of took it and kept it. And again, I don't think Buzz would really care. I don't. He's judgy about specific things, but that's not one of those specific things. So yeah, like the little alien figure, I was like, well, maybe Rip gave him this, and the airplane, maybe Tank gave him that. And I was just trying really to include both of them. I didn't really care about including Dad in this at all because, again, I just don't think he would be. I almost put a framed butterfly in his room, and I'm like, alright, I don't think that he would have one, but I'm just excited that I was able to do his room, because I did want to do more of The Sims, even though I keep saying I'm not going to do all of them, I'm not going to do all of them, I'm not going to do all of them. Like, I do have a soft spot for all of the pre-mades. Like, I've always liked the pre-mades, and so being able to revisit them and decorate their spaces has just been fun for me. I don't want to do all their spaces simply because I know that it's going to go from fun to exhausting really quick, and this has just been kind of a fun experiment. And that's why I'm enjoying it. Like, if I made myself do all of them, I would hate it pretty quickly. But for now, it's fun, enjoyable, and I'm glad, because I have quite a few more of these to go. I think we're about halfway through. I think this is, in theory, scheduled to come out in beginning August. It's hard to remember, because, like, I set up the schedule of how I want these to come out, but things move, things change. Things are fluid. I thought about putting Void Critters in his room as well, like maybe he plays Void Critters. I think I actually don't end up putting any Void Critters. So I was color matching at that point. I was like, let's make sure. Because I wanted things to be kind of consistent with the primariest colors. I also think Buck is kind of very adult for his age. I think he's the type of little kid that goes to his friend's house and he hangs out with their mothers, and he's always going to be that type of little kid. Like, as he grows older, I really just think that he's always just going to be the one that spends time with the mothers, because they're going to want to mother him, but also just, like, he has the personality of, like, a 39-year-old housewife. I just think that he does. Yeah, I wanted to include a lot of animal things as well, like any kind of animal posters that I could find. But he's still a kid, and I wanted to keep that as well. Like, I didn't want to take that away. Like, he's still young. I can't remember how old he is exactly in terms of sim days, but I didn't want to take that completely away. I guess I wanted him to be young, just young with a lot of responsibilities for being so young. See all the posters I downloaded. I'm really happy with all of them. Like, there's actually quite a few, like, sim band posters. Pleases me. Hopefully I will get to use all of them, because I'm doing a lot of teen bedrooms, so I was like, I'm going to need all those. Okay. I jumped forward because I was like, alright, you're shopping too much. Shopping too much. Shopping too much. You can see I've got a lot here. So first I kind of wanted to do the desk clutter, because he is going to have kind of a little desk setup, of course. None of the boys get a computer in their room because there is no way their dad would trust them to have one. I was just kind of like testing to see what I wanted. I loved the idea of like the little book with the paper and the cookies. Because again, like, I like the idea that he almost like snacks, not because he's like hungry or anything, but just like pettiness. And I live for that. The little heart folder, love that. Little cup with the pencils in it, because Rip draws a lot, so I figure Rip also shares his colored pencils with his brother. This is me just kind of deciding to get rid of pretty much everything else that was going to go on there. I did want to keep the sewing machine, and I keep the iron as well. Because again, like, I just figured these things actually belonged to Lila, but once she was gone, you know, the general was gonna get rid of them, so the boys took what they wanted to keep, and whatever they didn't got just dumped. You can see I set up his little makeup stand, which I'm so happy with. Like, he's got clippers and things like that, but he's also just got like the little makeup stand in front of a mirror. And then some of these books are like nature books as well, again, hinting at the fact that his older brother Tank, he goes on hikes with him maybe. I think I keep them all. I hope that I do. I got that little joke book. I think that he likes comedy as well. He strikes me as the kind of person that's pretty wry in his humor, but I wanted to keep it. I got the little princess book. That makeup table setup took forever. That's why I cut it, because it just was literally me fiddling with getting everything kind of the right height. Now I'm grabbing all of the stuffed animals, because they were all going on the bed. There was not, it was happening. It was happening. I was also grabbing just some general toys and things. Yeah, I really got a lot in here. I'm kind of sorting the piles now of like, okay, what do I have? Because I wanted to keep like a lot of the Barbie things, and but at some point you kind of got to edit, so I was like, okay, let's put all the stuffed animals over here, and let's put the Barbies over here, and let's put like these craft things here. Sometimes it helps too, like, you get everything you have, but then you like start to sort it in smaller piles, so you see, okay, I've got like 3 of the same thing here. Do I really need all of it? I did get rid of the Furby. I'm very sad about it, but it needed to go. I love these like bug-eyed stuffed animals. I can't remember where I got them, but I love them. Also, nothing wanted to go in that brown OMSP. I was very annoyed. But we've got all of his stuffed animals. I had to put the cat on the ground, but I was keeping it because I liked it. I wanted one on the pillow, but like it just wasn't working. I do have to take the duck off that one later because it's floating. Happens. We all know it. So yeah, we got our little stuffy collection there. I decided to get rid of the Legos because, like I said, he is a neat sim. So I left like the neat little Barbie living room setup out because I was like, okay, he would keep that. I did get rid of the plane. I felt bad, but I did get rid of it. Looks like I did get rid of the nature magazines too. I'm sorry, Tank. I'm sorry. We all know the intention, though. Oh, no, they're there. They're there. I didn't get rid of them yet. Maybe I don't. I can't. Honestly, I can't remember. You think that I would be able to remember because I just decorated this yesterday, but like, nope. Can't remember anything. So I had the worst time trying to grab those stupid skates. I wanted him to have this little frog purse. It's like a little change purse, but it's so cute. I put like the little photo book on the bed. This is where I realized how badly that duck is floating, and I'm like, alright, we need to figure out how to fix the floating duck. I think the 5 is what I end up going with. Still floating, but not as bad. And then I see that I'm like, I have to fix the duck, because the duck was just egregious. I can live with floating sometimes, especially in these spaces, because like I said, I'm not going to be taking screenshots, like, after this. I'm not going to have Sims living in this space. It's fine if they're a little floaty. Okay, I did keep the nature magazine. See, so he got those from his brother. Maybe he also got the little dog from him. You never know. Yeah, we got some bubbles going on. I wanted to put the skates next to that nightstand so bad, and they just kept going on top of the nightstand, which was driving me batty. Because this area over here just looks so empty. And I was like, why don't I just move the nightstand? That makes more sense. I was going to give him a squirt gun like Rip, but then I was like, you don't really need it, kid. I did keep this little thing, though. And that as well. It just looks so angry. I love it. And then the snacks, which I just kind of hide throughout the room. I'm very amused by the snacks. I shouldn't be, but, like, I am. I just put them in like each spot throughout the house. Not the house, but like throughout the bedroom. And now we're gonna hang up. We're gonna put the rug in, which I really like that rug for this room. And now the pictures, which was the worst struggle. I knew I wanted to use this one. This was like my favorite one. But it was kind of hard. Like, he actually has decent wall space, but just like making those choices was really hard for me. I was like, well, what goes? What doesn't go? I don't know. So then I just started to try to think, okay, what goes together? What makes sense? And a poster wall makes sense, especially when kids are decorating. Because this is something that Tank and Rip both could have helped him with. Most of that art is art he would have drawn himself. I did hang that little fish above the thing. It made me laugh. 100% Rip gave him the dang fish. Maybe the calendar too. And I wanted that little hobby board thing. Kept having to turn everything as I went, so I was like, okay, now what? I liked this kind of like, we are the world. I figured Tank probably gave him that because it's framed. And then maybe he made that. Just little things. But as many animals as I could shake a stick at. And yeah, we're pretty much done. So I was able to get the room. I wanted that butterfly picture, it didn't work. But I was able to get the room done pretty much exactly how I think it needed to be for Buck. I think it fits his personality. I think that you can't really tell that I did not have a plan going into it, but it still works. I like all the stuffed animals on the bed. I like his little makeup area. I think this looks like a little kid who wants to be a pet stylist, who has a difficult father, but loving, supported, caring brothers. So let me know what you guys think. Definitely give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.